So while discussing binary tree, we have mainly discussed on tree traversal or the ways of traversing all the nodes in a tree. We have discussed about in-order traversal, which is left, root, right. We have discussed about pre-order traversal, which is root, left, right, the order in which the nodes will be traversed or node will be visited. And for post-order traversal, we have discussed about which is the order is left, right, root. We have also discussed about one variant of in-order traversal, which was right, root, left. As you might have remembered, in the last class, we have discussed this order of traversal to actually display a tree in your screen in the proper manner. Another basic operation which is needed before we can perform a tree traversal is we need to form a tree, right? We need to build a tree, and to build a tree, we need to insert items in the tree, isn't it? So to build a tree, we need, as I mentioned, we need to insert items. So let's say I want to insert, say, 13 in the tree. Initially, as there is no existing node in the tree, so 13 will be the root. 13 will be the root. Then say if I want to insert, say, 17, say I want to insert 17, there are two other questions that should be answered before I will be able to add 17 in the proper place. What are the two questions that should be answered? The first question is the parent of the node. I need to get the parent of the node. And two is which child, whether it is left or it is right. Of course, zeroth input that we should be taking is the number itself. So if you imagine one code, one practical execution of a code, you may think of initially, as there is no tree in the there is no node in the tree. Only if you need to take this as input, and that will be considered as the tree or the root, and the left and right subtree will be by default set to null. Now, from the second time onwards, whenever you will be taking one number as input, you need to take two other inputs from the user as well. The first input is the user need to specify the parent of the number that the user want to add in the tree, and the second input is the child, that is whether for this parent whether I want to add this number as the left child or the right child. So I need to take these two additional inputs from the second time onwards whenever there is at least one node in the binary tree. Now to get this, so for example, I have mentioned it here, I first need to get the number n to be inserted, which will be taken as input. I need to get p, which is the parent of n, which should also be taken as input. Then I need to search for p, whether the parent is actually existing in the tree or not. For example, if I want to add 33 in this tree now, okay, for this tree containing 13 and 7, if I want to add 33, so the first input is this is 33, and get the parent. And if the user specifies the parent as a 22, as you can see, 22 is not in the tree. So we cannot add 33 as some child of 22, because 22 is actually not existing in the tree. So basically, we need to search for the existence of the parent in the tree. Then only we will be able to add the new number as the child of this parent node. And if, so for example, I want to add this as the, say, right child of 17. 17. So I'll be searching for P. So I'll be searching for 17. I know. So this is the P. And then I need to take another input that, so as it is a binary tree, we know that a node can be added as either left child or the right child. So I need to take that input as well. So I need to take whether I want to add 33 as the left child of 17 or right child of 17. That thing I also need to be we need to be taken. I mean, we need to consider as taking as input. All right. There can be so many issues, like if I want to add 33 as the left child of 13, it will be an exceptional case. We need to handle it. We need to specify with some error message that it's not possible because already the left child of 13 is already occupied by the 17 node. So these things needs to be done. So the main thing what needs to be done is we need to search for the node or the parent node in the tree. The deletion from an existing binary tree can be done in the similar way. So for doing that, we need to take the, again, the node that I want to delete, I need to take as the input. So for example, if I add it here, it's a right child of 17, then I need to take an input, say for example, I wanted to delete 17, for example. So I need to take this as the input from the user, and then I need to search 17 in the tree. And then we need to locate. So as you can see, we'll be discussing in this maybe in the next class more about how to delete. But for the time being, you can see. So if the, I mean, you can guess actually, if the tree looks like this, and if I delete 17 from this tree, can someone say what would happen? If I want to delete this node, if I want to delete this node, then how the tree would look like? Anyone?
There will be two different trees now.
No. Of course not. So yeah. So one thing you can consider is this. I mean, you may think of that this will be creating two trees, one containing 13 and another containing 33, which will be just maybe a forest you can consider. But no, I mean, for the deletion operation here, we should be considering. We should be making on. I mean, we should be kind of changing the existing tree, just deleting the existing the node that I want to delete. Then what would happen? So I want to delete one number which is a left child of 13, right? And the number or the node that I want to delete is containing one right child. So what we need to do is I just need to make the pointer from here to here, and I need to free this. So basically, after deleting, it should be looking like this. Actually,
Sir,
we'll be discussing this. Yes, please go ahead.
If there is another left child of 17, then
Good
what will happen?
question. Good question. If there is another left child of 17, say 12, what would happen? Basically, it would be like this. So basically, this will be brought back as the root here. If I want to delete this, and we need to free this. Don't worry, we will be discussing this maybe in the next class, not today. Today we'll be discussing the insertion. How to do the deletion we'll be discussing. It's a little bit more complicated. There will be some issues. There will be some new terminologies that we'll be hearing of, but we'll be discussing this. So for the time being, the bottom line that I want to highlight here is to delete. Also, we need to search. So searching, as you can understand, searching is an essential part of the binary, of operations in the binary tree. Is there someone saying something? Why not other way? Okay. So you are saying why not 13, 12, 13, 12, 33, 13, 12. Oh, okay. So you are saying why not take this and put here? Why not make it like 13, 12, and then 33? This is another choice. But we'll be discussing. So there are some specific, as I have mentioned, there are some specific names or importance of this value. The value, so okay, we'll be discussing. So for the time being, you can consider, yes, this is another option. So after deleting, so consider the tree containing these 4 values, 13, 17, 12, and 33. If I delete 17, one option is I need to brought back this right child of 17 to the root, and another choice like this, and another choice is we can take the left subtree or left root, not left root, left child of 17 as the root to make the tree look like this. This is another choice. So as I have mentioned, search is an essential part in doing this, doing insertion as well as doing deletion. So in the last class, we have discussed about the search time complexity. So to search in a binary tree, the ways we can do that is using some kind of traversal. So in-order traversal, pre-order traversal, or post-order traversal. Along with that, another thing that we have deeply discussed is level order traversal or zigzag traversal. So these traversal operations we need to apply to search for an existing node, whether to check whether a node is existing in the binary tree or not. But as we have discussed, all these different traversals will be doing some kind of linear operation, linearly. So basically, basically it will be taking the order of n time complexity, and if the value of n is quite large, it will be taking a significant time to look for or to check the existence of an existing node in the tree, specifically in the binary tree. Now, there is another special type of binary tree that is called binary search tree, in which we can reduce this search time complexity from order of n to order of log n. So first define a binary search tree. So a binary search tree is either, again, as we have discussed, an empty tree is also a binary tree. From that definition, an empty tree is also a binary search tree as well. So for example, if I define one, say, okay, so for the timing, okay, let's discuss this with BT node again as well. So BT node, say star root equals to null. So this is actually a binary tree, as well as this is a binary search tree as well, because it is empty. And if it is not empty, then it should be satisfying the following conditions. So all the values in the left subtree, so given one root, all the values in the left subtree will be having a value less than the value stored in the root. All the values in the right subtree will be greater than the value in the root, and the left and right subtree will be again binary search trees as well. So if I draw a basic template of a binary search tree or a binary tree in general, so this binary tree will be binary search tree if all values here are less than the value stored in the root. All the values stored in here in this Ri is greater than the value of R. Now, how are we imposing this? Because as we have seen while declaring the binary search trees as well, binary trees as well, as you can see, so as you can see, the int data is the data that is stored in the node, isn't it? And as you can see, all the nodes will be containing integer type data. So in general, we can say all the nodes, all the data that will be stored will be homogeneous. And we will be able to compare them. We will be able to compare each and every value of all the nodes in the binary tree. And this binary tree will be binary search tree if and only if all the nodes in the left subtree will be having values less than the root. All the nodes stored in the right subtree will be having value greater than the value in the root. And this left and right subtree will be again binary search trees. So that is, these two conditions will also be true for the left and right subtrees as well. Any question? All right.
So, but for this to work, our data should be like comparable, right?
Absolutely. That's what I am saying. Because as the nodes, I mean, as we can see, we are making the BT node earlier when declaring one binary tree. The data that we are making, I mean, the data that we are storing actually is of type integer. So, of course, we'll be, I mean, we need to have homogeneous type of data. Then only we'll be able to compare them. So that this is the basic, basic criteria that should be happening, because I mean, all the nodes should be containing same type of data.
So,
I mean, it is not possible that if I, in the root say I am storing one integer, and in the left subtree, in the some of the nodes in the right subtree, I am storing some strings. It's not actually possible to compare an integer with a string.
sir,
Yes.
so like in case our data is not integer and something else, then you have to artificially create an order, right?
Very good question. Very good question. So it can be the case that the data that I want to store is not of integer type. It might be, say, another structure type. It might be the case that I have to declare, say, another struct, say complex, and so the complex contains two, say, floating value, say float. So let's not consider it as complex. Let's call it, say, location. Location. One is called, say, lat, and another is called. So basically, this location structure containing two attributes, latitude and longitude. And if basically the data that I want to store is of type struct location, say data, then we need to impose some kind of comparison operation on this location type of data or location type of abstract data type that we are declaring. You get the answer, right?
Yeah, okay, sir.
So as we are, for the time being, we are using a primitive type of data that is integer, we can avoid, I mean, for the time being, we can avoid, it's pretty easy. You can, of course, write it on your own to do some kind of comparison operation when the data are not actually of primitive data type. You can do that. Of course, you are absolutely correct. We need to, if there is no primitive way of comparing the individual data, we need to implement them on our own. All right. So this is one example of a binary search tree containing integer values. As you can see, this is the root. It is containing 49. The left subtree is this, 34. This is another root. For its the left subtree is called 12, containing 12 and 13. So 12 is 12 is the root. So in the left subtree there is null. So as you can see, all values in the left subtree are also basically which is either empty. So in this case, if I consider this only, the left subtree is empty and the right subtree is containing a value greater than 12. So this is a binary search. Now consider the right subtree. So this is the root for 40. The left subtree is containing one value 38, which is less than 40, and the right subtree is containing null. So this is another binary search satisfied. And if I consider the whole left subtree of the whole tree, so the root containing 34, which is greater than all the nodes stored in the left subtree, and which is less than all the nodes stored in the right subtree. So this is again a binary search. And that condition is satisfied for the right subtree of the whole tree as well. 73, left subtree containing 60, left subtree containing 55. 73, right subtree containing 79. So this is again binary search tree. And for the whole tree, as you can see, 49 is in the root. All the nodes in the left subtree are less than 49. And all the nodes in the right subtree are greater than, all the nodes in the right subtree are basically less than 49. And all the nodes in the right subtree are greater than 49. So in general, the template looks like this. So all the nodes in the left, in the root will be less than the value stored in the right subtree and will be greater than the value stored in the left subtree. And this will be true for all the individual nodes in the binary search tree or in the binary tree in general. Any question? All right. So here I have mentioned, I have considered integer as the data type. We can of course have other data types as well. Here it is the same tree. Here I am storing, as you can see, strings. So I have stored the sentence, a quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I have actually excluded the. So basically here the tokens are, or the data are some strings. Here is also, I am storing apple, bat, cat and dog, which are again strings. Now, so can you say what is this is a special type of tree. So we have actually discussed this. So can you say what is the name of this tree? Anyone? Anyone? Please try. So it is called right skew. This is the right skew tree. And this is, okay. So another thing is, so how are we, I mean, for integers, we can of course compare using the greater than, equals to, and less than operation. I mean, less than operator to compare two integers. So what is the way of comparing two strings? Can you say? Anyone? In C language, how? Yes, please go ahead.
The alphabetical order.
The alphabetical order. Very nice. So which is also called lexicographical order. Or you can say the dictionary order. Because in the dictionary, it remains like this. Now, how to do that in C language? How to compare? So, say we have one string A, another string B containing some values. How to compare them in string? In C?
ASCII codes.
ASCII codes. This is one way. So, I hope you know the ASCII code range, right? So, what is the ASCII code range from A to Z?
So I think from 92.
What is the ASCII range for A to Z, capital A to capital Z?
67, I guess, from 67 to 7.
What is the ASCII code from of the value digit 0 to 9? So 0 to 9, it is basically 48, 57. From capital A to capital Z is from 65 to 90. And for small a to small z, it is from 97 to 122. These are the ASCII values of the alphabets. But wait a minute. We can get the ASCII values, and based on that, we can sort them if it is a single character. What if we need to store, say quick and say cute? Cute is, so for example, say quick and say queen. So we need to compare quick and queen. So how to compare them?
Sir, for first two characters are same, so we will compare the third characters.
So as first and second characters are same, we will be comparing the E and I, as E will be containing, will be having a less ASCII value than I. It will be, so basically quick will be before, queen will be before quick, isn't it? You are correct. So this is one way of comparing two strings. But there is an easy way. There is a much easy way. So as you can see, you need to implement this on your own. I mean, you need to define one function, say CMP, which will be taking two strings as parameters, say char star S1 and another char star S2. And we need, you need to implement this ASCII based comparison in here. The easy thing is, this is actually already defined in the header file called string.h. string.h. This header file, this thing is already defined in a function that is called strcmp. So strcmp, using strcmp, you will be able to compare. This strcmp function is defined in string.h header file. All right. But of course, as we have mentioned, we can use the ASCII values as well. The string, the strcmp is actually doing something, but the good part is, as it is defined, we can just simply reuse it, or you can just use it by importing string.h. Then we need not implement this on our own. All right. One obvious question you might be encountering in your mind is, we have already discussed about binary search and what is the, how to compare binary search with binary search tree. I'm sure some of you are having this question in your mind. So for actually doing the searching, for binary search, it takes order of log n. For binary search, it will be again taking order of log n. But the thing that would make the difference is the insertion. For insertion, binary search will be needing, for binary search, so for binary search, you know, it will be a sorted array, right? So for a sorted array, if you add one number in the existing array, so if you want to add another number in the existing array, it will be taking order of n time. But the beauty of binary search is, it will be for insertion of new data as well. In the tree, it will be again taking order of log n time. So the bottom line is, binary search is ideal for static data when the data will not be changing over time or over the execution. But for binary search tree, it is ideal when the data will be changing or there will be new data getting added in your execution, during your execution of the code. So for that situation, I'm specifying it as a dynamic situation or runtime situation. If there is a change in the binary tree, change in the tree in terms of addition and addition of or deletion of nodes or deletion of values in the data structure, it is better to use binary search tree as compared to binary search. Because for binary search, we need to have an array, and for that array, we need to add, for insertion as well as deletion, we need to move items, right? So if I compare one sorted array like this, so 7, say, and so the array containing, say, 9 values for binary search. Now, if I add, say, 11 here, so this 11 should be inserted in between 7 and 13. So this is already stored in the array. So what we need to do is to insert 11. So this is in the 0th position. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 11 should be placed in the 4th location, right? Then what we need to do is we need to move this from 13 to 23, all this one place in the right direction, right? So this movement will cause some time. That's why the insertion would be taking order of n time. Because some execution time will be spent on shifting, and some time will be, basically log n time will be spent on searching for the location, and n time will be spent on shifting. And order of n time will be spent on shifting the values in the right. So together, it will be taking order of n time to insert. And if you want to delete some item, as well as you need to apply some left shifting of the all the nodes in the right side of the node that you want to delete. So in that case as well, it will be taking order of n time. Altogether, insertion or deletion will be taking you order of n time. All right. Okay. So like
Sir, how
binary,
is the searching order of log n for normal binary search? Okay, it's binary search, right? It's not
exactly.
normal search.
No, so that's why login.
Yeah, fine.
So actually, after saying the question, I mean, the
Yeah,
answer strike your
then
mind.
binary search.
Exactly. You are saying binary search, so basically that's why you'll be taking order of login. Clear? Clear, everyone? Why it will be? Because it's binary search. It is sorted. So we'll be starting the search in the middle and we'll be going either left or right, breaking the whole array in two halves and then going either left or right and so on. So it will be taking order of log n time. And you can say the base is basically 2 because it's binary. Either will be going to the right or will be going to the left. All right. So as we have discussed for binary tree, for binary search tree as well, the operations are kind of same. Insertion, searching, deletion. And of course, we can traverse, which is exactly same as the binary tree traversal. So first of all, to make one node of binary search tree, can you say whether it will be different from binary tree? My question is, to implement one binary search tree, whether we need to define a different data type or a different abstract data type than the BT node that we have already defined. Actually, no. So we can actually reuse this because essentially what we need to store is the data, the left subtree, the address of the left subtree and the address of the right subtree. So from the point of view of the defining the abstract data type, there is no actual, implication of using the condition. That condition that the left subtree will be containing lesser values, the right subtree will be containing higher values, and so on. From the point of defining this abstract data type, there is no, there is no imposition from that point, from the comparisons point. So that's why we can use the same binary tree node, that is, we have defined BT node for binary search tree as well. Okay. And for the insertion, as compared to binary tree, where we needed to take the number which we want to insert as input, the parent as input as well, together with whether it will be left or right subtree, we needed to take that as input as well. But for binary search tree, the only thing that is needed to be taken as input is the number. Because based on the condition, because the condition is already defined, for integer the condition is whether if it is less than the value, then it will be going in the left. If it is greater than the right, greater than the root, then it will be going in the right direction. So these two things, specifically the parent and the whether left and right, will be taken care of by these conditions. So search for P in the tree will be based on these conditions. Locate P will be based on again this condition, and get which child, the new node n will be placed as left or right child of P will be again based on the greater than or less than condition. Any question up to this? Why? For binary tree, we have seen that I needed to take this and this as input as well. But for binary search tree, why this is implicitly taken care of? Why these conditions? Is it clear to everyone? Okay. I hope it is clear. So to implement, so basically the insertion will be happening whether if the new data is less than the root, then we need to go to the left subtree. It is containing the root. So this is the left, and this is the right. So if the new data, so if I want to add data in this tree, data will be added somewhere here. Notice my word, notice my what I am saying. If data is less than root, data will be placed somewhere in this left subtree, and if data is greater than root, then it will be placed somewhere in this right subtree. Somewhere. The exact location will be based on the exact comparison as well. Like, so for example, at the beginning, say there is no node. So for example, I want to insert 13. So 13 will be the root. 13 will be the root. Now if I want to add say 7, so I need to make one node with it, binary BT type node containing 3 attributes: the data, the left subtree and the right subtree. Initially both will be considered as null. This is also considered containing null values. Now we will need to check whether 7 is less than 13 or not. Yes, it is less. So we need to go the left subtree of this. But the left subtree is containing null. So whenever we will be encountering one null, we will be changing that null. Note my word. We will be changing that null to point to the newly added node. Now if I want to add say 10, the search will be again starting from here. 10 is less than 13. So we need to search in the left subtree. The new root that should be considered is this. Now 10 is greater than the root. So we need to go to the right subtree of 7. Again, the right subtree is null. And as I have mentioned earlier, whenever we will be encountering one null, we will be changing that null to point to the newly added node. 10 will be added here. Is it clear? It should be very much clear. Otherwise, it will be everything will be kind of very much hard to understand. Hard to actually understand the rest of the topics. All right. So the basic algorithm to insert one new node V in the tree having root as the root is we need to compare V with root. If V is less than root, then we should be going in this direction. V to be inserted to root left, somewhere in root left. And at some point, if root left is empty, as I have mentioned here, at some point, whenever we will be encountering root left as empty, we will be setting V as the left child of the root. And else means, what this else means? Else means V can be either greater than root or V can be equal to root. You can see from the very beginning when I started discussing, I was only considering these two conditions. Whether V is less than root or V is greater than root. But I have never mentioned this. When the node is same as the root data. So what is this? I mean, can you say why? I mean, what is this to do with when, I mean, there is a repetition? So for repeated values, for binary search tree, there are two options. So one option, the most general option is we'll be ignoring that. And a less popular option is we'll be adding that node in the right subtree. So for example, considering this tree once again, if I want to add say 19, so 19 will be created as a node here. And this will be pointing to here. The most general convention of, I mean, if I again want to insert 19, the popular convention of using or handling this scenario is we'll be ignoring the repetition. That is, so if I want to add 19 again, we'll be again start searching from the root. So here, as you can see in the condition, I'm only checking whether the node is less than or greater than the value. I am never checking whether b is equals to root or not. So for that scenario, we'll be just ignoring. So that means we'll be encountering here. So first of all, 19 is greater than 13. So I need to go in the right subtree. The new root is this. Now the new root is equal to the newly added value, or the value that I want to add. So in that case, we need to ignore that. Or what we can do is, it is a less popular convention, we'll be adding 19 again in the right sub. But we'll be following the first convention of ignoring the existing data. So there should be, so basically we'll be considering only these two conditions. And if b is equals to root, we'll be ignoring it. All right. So just to end our discussion on insertion, so root will be pointing to initially null. This is again a binary search tree as we have discussed. So for example, if I add 10, root will be pointing to 10. Now if I add 7, this will be pointing to 7 and root will be remaining here. And if I add say 13, this will be changed. The right subtree of this root will be changed to point to the newly added node 13 here. So we are kind of running late. In the next class, I'll be actually writing the code on doing this. How to do that? How will we be able to do that? Or complicated situation here when this. So again, I'll be ignoring this. I'll be ignoring this situation. I'll be considering. I will be ignoring the repeated values or duplicate values. So in the next class, I'll be writing the actual codes on doing this insertion, as well as I'll be discussing on deletion, how to delete node from an existing binary search string.